Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode, another week of the VA Home Show. Today, we are joined by fellow Marine, handsome devil dog, Jeff Hansen. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Semper Fidelis, Raw,
Semper Fi.
all that good stuff. And we are joined again by Amy Serpa, Air Force veteran, combat vet. Today is an aggressive show. Today is a little bit wild. I'm going to tell you right here in advance. We were going through the top 20 mistakes that you can make when going VA, and shots fired. Things are going to get a little bit crazy real quick. So stay tuned. This show is going to get a little bit nuts. You ready?
We're ready.
Are you ready?
Of course.
The top 20 mistakes that people make when going VA. Amy Serpa,
I'm going to kick this
you're going to go
off.
first.
I'm going to kick this one off. You guys ready?
We're ready.
All right. Number one mistake, using civilians.
Shots fired.
True.
If you are a spy, if you're one of those nasty civilians that have tuned into the VA Home Show, you can tune in, you can comment, but we are absolutely going to essentially waterboard you every episode with the VA Home Show.
Imitated, never duplicated.
So there's a lot of these certifications that go around, like, and I'm gonna just go and fire shots. MRP is one of them, Military Relocation Program, and what they are is they're selling certifications to nasty civilians and spies so that they can tap into that VA market and try to get some of that money.
They can try, man, but
Please
they've never been.
Do not
boots on the
front.
ground.
Boots on ground, indeed. So number one mistake, using a nasty civilian. Jeff, number two.
We'd have to say avoid using lenders and realtors trying to convince you not to use your VA home loan.
One of the biggest things that has blown my mind is it's over 60% of people that go VA were talked out of it by either their real estate professional or their lender.
That's right.
2 out of 3 were discouraged from using their VA loan. If you have anyone discouraging you from using your VA loan, get rid of that person with their ancient principles and,
Come see us.
bias against the VA loan.
Absolutely.
Shame on them. Shots
All
fired
right.
again. Number 3, Amy.
All right.
What's it at?
Businesses masking as veterans that are actually ran by civilians.
Okay, I was getting ready to get frustrated about somebody having their phone on, and it's me. Hey, there's a lot of these programs out there. One of them, they're veterans, they're united. You can kind of put that together, but they're not a public company. They're not a bunch of altruistic veterans out there that are just looking out for you. They're a private company that name themselves Veterans This, Military That. And it doesn't mean that they're actually veterans. This right here, this is a veteran. That's a veteran. I'm a veteran. Toby Love, that's a veteran. So if somebody hasn't served, they're just genuinely not going to understand the things that you and your family go through regularly. That's the truth.
That's right.
So beware those private companies trying to act like they're a government program. Mr. Jeff Hansen, number 4.
We're going to go on avoid changing jobs or quitting jobs while during this loan process.
Good one.
Hey, Toby, or you're going to have to turn that down in there, Lori. I could hear it just as loud as I could hear myself talking. That's Jeff's cohort partner in crime back there. All right. So, yes, avoid changing jobs. One of the things that people talk about is the EAS.
Yep.
They're getting out of the military, but maybe they want to buy a house. No, I'm just kidding. Don't lie about anything. But the thing is you have to be honest. And you have to be forthright, but avoid changing jobs. Avoid, if you are EASing, sometimes all you need is that promise of employment that you're going to continue to get paid in order to qualify for using that VA loan.
Yep.
Right, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Amy, what's next? Number 5.
All right. Next one. Avoid high property taxes. That will hit you in the pockets and you will least expect it.
We've talked about this on past shows. There are people that, for whatever reason, we get on the show and they decide to keep calling us regularly. Just hold off on a minute. We will give you guys the phone number for what to call. Here is the phone number if you guys want some information right now. If you want some of this VA loan action, holler at Toby Love.
That's right.
Toby Love is a veteran that throws her cell phone number out there because she knows that many of you don't want to talk to anyone. 951-704-7421. She could help you track down that certificate of eligibility or anything else that you might need. And good morning, Brad. Hello.
Good morning, Brad.
So, Amy, you said, what now?
Avoiding high property taxes.
Avoid high property taxes. This is something that we've talked about in a past show. Your property taxes can kill you. Something as simple as my property tax rate where I live, where I bought as a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps at 1.3%. Across the street is 2.2% in Spitzer's Crossing. Now, if you're looking at a $400,000 home, which is about where many of us are shopping, that's a savings of about $300 a month just in taxes by looking in lower tax rate areas. When you throw the HOA on top of that, that's about $400 a month just by shopping in smart areas. One of them is, I have a listing getting ready to come up here on Brightener. I'd love for you to be my neighbor. Come on out. All right. And then before we go to Jeff, thanks for all your help on our current VA refinance. Hashtag Toby Love Team. Lisa Mendez-Meyer.
Hi, Lisa Myers.
A little bit of love. All right, Jeff, what's next on these top mistakes that veterans are making when using their VA loan?
Avoid applying for any type of credit, such as furniture or even small credit cards.
Some
Stay away
people
from it.
get really excited when they get approved. They
They're
get
like,
into
oh, I want to
escrow.
go buy all this stuff for the new house.
Some of them will buy cars and things like that. And the thing is that's not your fault. Nobody told you otherwise. Nobody counseled you properly. But if you know, then you're not going to make the mistakes. So when you get into escrow, when you get that loan approval, don't go out buying a new car, buying furniture, and then missing out on qualifying for your house.
That's right.
All right, Amy, what's next?
The VA loan does not cost you money. This is a specific no money down program.
The VA loan does not cost you money. One of the problems that a lot of veterans make and a lot of mistakes is they go around rate shopping. They go around, hey, what's your rate? What's your rate? What's your rate? But the number one thing that people need help with is closing cost. So instead of calling around rate shopping, I suggest calling your lender and prospective lender and saying, how much help can you give me with the out-of-pocket expense of closing cost? And what people do is they typically roll that into your rate. Jeff, what's next? Number 8.
Avoid changing your marital status during this process as well.
Avoid changing your marital status. Savage. Of course, this comes from the Marine. So
just looking out for my bros out there.
Just looking out for my bros. That's fantastic. Do not get divorced during the escrow process. It benefits you to get married, but once you get signed up, one way or the other, you're weathering the storm in either direction. So don't change your marital status during the process. Only a Marine. All right. All right. Well, things are going really good, but we ended up buying this house, and I want to move in by myself.
Little does she know, this is only for me.
This is only for me. So wait until you move in. Goodness gracious. Only on the VA Home Show. Brad, people need to know that I had a bought credit cards up to the max, putting furniture in there, and he didn't think about the insurance. He didn't think about the taxes. And I tried to tell him going into the house that you have to make sure that you got yourself into a budget.
Yep.
That's a little bit of foreshadowing for where we're going next. Thank you, Brad. That's absolutely a good comment. Feel free to share this out to everybody. Amy, what's next?
Do not disqualify a property, even if it might say on the MLS, this will not go VA.
Dude.
Do not listen to them.
Pure fire on today's show. This is good stuff. Good clients of mine, fellow Marine, Recon Marine, Rudy and Lori Gonzalez, operate ministries that combat human trafficking. 20-acre compound. On the MLS, it says, will not go VA. They refuse to show us for weeks. We end up getting in there, and not only does the property go VA, but there's no requirements to improve the property, and there were multiple structures. 3 structures on that property. VA.
That's right. Making it happen.
I'm sorry, but you could save that noise for somebody else. That was a good one. Okay, what's next, Jeff? Number 10?
Yeah.
Are we halfway through the show? Number 10.
I know we're kind of moving a little quick. If using funds to cover closing costs, do not move money in and out of accounts, even if they're your own accounts. Leave the money where it's at, and we will definitely go over those items with you. where the money's going to go.
I love that this is again coming from the Marine. The last one was like, hey, listen, don't get divorced during escrow. And the last one's
It's
like,
like the looking out. VA
leave
home
the
show.
money where it is.
The looking out VA home show.
Leave it where it lies.
Leave the money where it is. So you can get gift funds, you can get help, and there are things that you can do, but leave the money where it is.
We got your 6 on the VA home show.
You only want to have to explain the money moving once. If the money is moving around more than once, and all of a sudden you've got this trail of money that you have to explain, not only are you a veteran, but you've been ill-advised.
If you have offshore accounts.
If you have offshore accounts. Good night. Amy, number 11, before we get ourselves into trouble.
All right. Do not disqualify yourself.
Do not disqualify yourself. That's a big one. Toby Love brings that up just about every week. She says, hey, listen, don't disqualify yourself. What is the minimum standard credit that's required?
There is no minimum.
No minimum
score required.
That being said, about 600 is about where you want to be at, but you can get help with your credit. Tiffany with Dedicated Credit Repair is a good person to reach out to.
Yes, she is.
But of course, reach out to Toby Love and Jeff here personally, and we'll get things started. Mr. Jeff Hansen.
Avoid.
Jeff Hansen. I was going to call you Mr. Jeff Hansen. Not the first time. No. Hansen. Good. Borderline. How often have been calling us Hansen? Mr. Jeff Hansen. Well,
we will avoid on any type of loan out there, even if children, not anybody.
Claire.
Got your say. Let them figure it out for themselves.
To each their own.
Listen, to be thrown around for. You got to look out for numero.
That's right.
Savage. Yeah. What's that?
Okay. You love our by multi-resident. There are now and available now.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that when they're buying, they are in suburbia. It's truth. No.
By giving it directly to a for sale by owner.
Savage. There are people that end up transferring money. How can VA home limits. That's enjoy.
With site.
Well, I hope that it gets cleaned up. And good morning, Leslie Hill, to everyone and everyone else that just tuned in. We had about 12 viewers, and then it went down to 5. So hopefully our connection comes in a little bit better. Okay, what's next, Jeff?
We have on here, avoid doing any of this process by yourself.
Do not go at it alone.
Yep.
Get your fire team together. Get your battle buddy. Get that VA loan. Get it figured out. Amy, what's next?
Do not panic if the appraisal comes in too low.
Do not panic if the appraisal comes in low. The thing that we have here with the VA loan that nobody else has is this fantastic little process called Tidewater. Tidewater gives us the opportunity to prove value. I've been in Tidewater before on a VA loan, and I brought value up $46,000, saved the deal, which would have fallen out, saved the homeowner, saved the buyer, and yeah, everything ended up working out in the end. What's next, Jeff?
Avoid ignoring your lender's requirements. So if we give you a set of requirements there, please follow our direction. We've been doing this on many different situations, so we're giving you the best advice. Follow it.
One of the biggest problems that people have is they hear their lender require all of these documents up front, and they'll say, you know what? I'm going to go to a different lender that doesn't need all of this. And what ends up happening in 100% of those situations is they end up coming back to the table at the last minute saying, oh, we need this, we need this. And they're like, why do you need all these documents? Now, in the best case scenario, the answer is because they didn't do their job right the first time. The best case scenario, it doesn't matter. Everything ends up being okay, and they get their ducks in a row at the last minute. The worst case scenario is, of course, you don't have the documents do not check out, and so you fall out at the very end of the escrow process, which is the most devastating thing that could happen at the final hour.
Yep.
Okay, Amy, what's next?
Okay. Do not be influenced by the changing market. You will miss out on opportunities.
Prices have gone like this for 9 years. They've been just going straight up. They plateaued this last year during an election year. Sometimes you see some cooling off. That being said, the Feds reduced rates 3 times last year alone. They're expected to do it again here this year. And but it's one of those things where people are looking at it like, when's a good time to buy? When should I buy? Well, can you afford the monthly payment?
Yep.
And that's one of the things that I think we're probably getting ready to get to next. Jeff, what's up next?
If using money for closing costs, make sure you don't have any large deposits of cash into your bank account. So if you're sitting around and you have cash in your safe, don't turn around and go and deposit that into your bank because then they're going to start asking questions. Well, where did this $5,000 to $10,000 come from?
And what was that for?
That was for the closing costs.
Oh, for closing costs.
Yes.
Okay, and here's the other thing with closing costs. If the offer's written correctly, if you're in a situation 9 times out of 10, and especially in this market that's been a little bit more of a, it was a seller's market for a while, and now it's sort of a normalized market. And so if you're in a situation where you're taking $5,000 or $10,000 out of your pocket, that should probably set off some red flags and make you really question what's going on, especially now that there's not a VA home loan limit. Earnest money deposits do not need to be that high. We've talked about things like this in a past show, but all of that being said, of course, you got to be careful with your money. Don't move it around too much. And we talked about that. Don't take it out of the safe or out from underneath the mattress and then just start throwing it in the bank all of a sudden. Uncle Sam's going to be like, what's up?
Yep.
Give me
They're going to want theirs. They always do.
I'm Uncle Sam. I don't care what you did. I want my money.
Did you say inheritance?
Did you give me that money? I'm just kidding. All right. What's next, then?
That was it for me.
Was
That's
that
all of our
do you have
zingers.
anything?
I'm not sure if we had covered a comfortable monthly payment. Even if you may qualify, if we definitely sit here, we can qualify you for more, may not be exactly what you want to be at with your monthly payments. We don't want you having to move around and be out of your comfortable range. So that's definitely one question that we do ask during the initial process is, what is your comfortable monthly payment? If we're going from a rent payment of $1,500, now we're jumping you up to $2,000. Are you going to be comfortable covering that $500?
Today's episode very well could have been called "Watch Me Fall in Love with Jeff Hansen." One of my favorite things to ask people when they come into an open house is, what are you comfortable keeping it under? Not what are you qualified up to?
Yeah. That
Because
includes property
I
taxes,
never want to
HOA.
drive by a property and see that it's been foreclosed on. I never want my clients to lose the house because they can't afford it.
Yep.
I remember when I was buying my first house, I would walk in and people would sort of be condescending to me because I had my Marine Corps haircut, and they would assume that I couldn't afford this, or they would want me to max out to that. And I'd say, listen, I know what I can afford, but this is
Not
what
about
I
that.
want to be at monthly to feel comfortable because I got bills.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you, Jeff Hansen.
Leslie's got a comment here.
Okay. Leslie said, yes, just because you qualify for that amount does not mean it is what I want to pay.
100.
100.
We want to live
Exactly.
life, vacays, holidays.
Leslie, thank you. I'm glad that we were able to get the live figured out.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Thanks for
guys.
sticking with us. For those of you that did, if you want some of this hot VA loan action, call or text Toby Love at 951-704-7421. and we will set you up. We'll answer the questions that you need. This show was great.
I love this show.
I had so much fun.
Friday fun day. Happy
course.
Friday.
This is part of the good stuff. You know what I do on Fridays? I do the VA home show, and I eat at McDonald's.
Uh-oh.
I just like to. I like to do the fat kid stuff sometime. All right, that was fun. I'm glad that you had that last point because I didn't want to end it on an evil Uncle Sam impersonation. Thank you guys so much for watching the VA Home Show. I'm David Serpa, your friendly neighborhood local machine gunner, laying down cover so that you can move. This is Amy. That's
Jeff Hansen.
Cross Country Mortgage, EXP Realty. That was a lot of fun. Share this show out. Let everybody know the top 20
Tell your
mistakes that are
friends.
being made because we don't want them to make it. Brad had an excellent point when he said what he said. Yeah, we don't want you guys out there making the same mistakes that other people have made. We also don't want you being preyed on. So if you're not a veteran working with the veterans, if you're not working with somebody who's
That's right.
if you're not working with a vet, you're kind of leaving yourself open to prey. And also the other truth is some veterans are not out for your best interest either.
No.
So that it's difficult sometimes as a veteran to really figure it out and figure out who's in your best interest, who's got your best at heart. And I think that if you look over these top 20 mistakes, you'll really see whether or not your realtor has your best at heart while you're looking through it. If you need to buy or sell real estate anywhere in the country, feel free to reach out to us. We'll hook you up with a fantastic realtor in your neck of the woods. And if you want to work with a veteran, just say, I want to work with a veteran. Don't give me a spy.
Call me.
Talk to you guys soon. Have a great mother frickin' weekend. Let's give them all the cheesy smiles. There you go.